What is going on, AZ Sports fan family? How are we doing today on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning here where we're here to talk some Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals. If you did not see yesterday's game, this game was a nail-biter down to the end of the game. Probably the last minute of the game where it seemed like it could never end. A lot of back and forth in terms of are they going to catch up? Are they not going to catch up? It was crazy. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. So we're definitely going to go ahead and do a game 5 preview after the recap of this game 4 here. Now, big shout out to the Phoenix Suns. I ended up getting the Valley Oop shirt. I ended up going to the team shop yesterday. If you do not know, I do have a second channel that I've had probably a month, but I haven't really been promoting it very much, but I do have a second channel that I'm going to be doing sports cards as well as vlogs and stuff like that. If you're interested in more content, it is going to be in the description of this video. I highly encourage the watching the last video. A lot of people really liked it, so we'll continue to do that, but very, very excited to talk about the Phoenix Suns here, guys. Definitely smash the like button if you guys are just getting here. Definitely do that favor for me. We're going to try to see if we can get this over to 50 likes, but we're here to talk some Phoenix Suns in this early morning where we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out and having a very good time because the city of Phoenix right now deserves this at this very moment right now. So let's recap what happened yesterday's game. Now, game 3, after game 3, Suns were up 2-0. Game 3 happened. First game in LA, we ended up losing. It kind of hurt. It definitely hurt, and especially the fashion that we ended up losing to them by. This game comes around, which was game 4, yesterday's game, and we actually did very well, not only offensively, but defensively as well. I think the Phoenix Suns did a very, very good job in the grand scheme of things from the beginning to the end of the game playing defense. Now, if you take a look at the final score and what happened and what transpired yesterday, it was 84-80. Now, you don't really see those types of low-scoring games. You're more used to seeing 110, 120 to 126, something along those lines. But as the scoreboard entails, this basically was in a nutshell. This was in a nutshell, and honestly, this is exactly what it was good to see. It was very, very good to see the Phoenix Suns come up here and playing some very, very good defense. And bottom line, we came out with the win. Now the Phoenix Suns are 3-1 going into Game 5 tomorrow, which is a game that's coming back here in Phoenix. Now, we'll talk about that a little later on. Let's give it about 5-10 minutes while everybody comes here, while we recap yesterday's game. Now, if you take a look at the stats here, now I want to say one big thing here because I think one thing that was very, very funny yesterday that happened, and if you don't think it's funny, no worries, but the announcers, man, I honestly thought the announcers were very, very like switch on and offish. Like first they were like, yeah, Suns, and then they were like, oh, Clippers, and when they were like on the Clippers, like they were like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. It was very annoying to see it because there was like very favoritism towards the LA team more than anything, in my opinion. But they said something very, very funny that caught my attention here. This was the time when the Clippers were rallying back to come back on the Phoenix Suns, and then we ended up seeing this. It's Kawhi Leonard, man. It's so funny because the Staples Center is erupting. The fans are very, very excited, and then you see Kawhi Leonard look like this. It was absolutely hilarious. It was just perfect timing because it doesn't really seem like he had very much excitement here. Now, obviously, I have the excitement level was real here just to kind of, piggyback off the funny thing, and when they actually looked at him, the timing was just perfect. The timing was absolutely perfect when they looked over at Kawhi Leonard, and he just looked uninterested. He looked like he was like, I think that's his excitement face, but I think in the grand scheme of things, the Phoenix Suns winning just made my night so much better, and I couldn't contain it, man. I couldn't contain it. This was very exciting, especially for the city of Phoenix. Now, one thing that I didn't know that the Suns were doing was they're actually doing watch parties, or they actually did a watch party yesterday where they allowed fans to go into the stadium, the Suns Stadium, or the Suns Arena, and watch the game on a big jumbotron, which is pretty awesome. I think it's really, really cool for them to do that. Now, let's go to the stats here real quick, but before that, let me get to my guy here, the culture view coming up clutch. Let me go and get you the air horn, my guy. Appreciate you. Thank you so very much. First super chat of the day. Culture View comes up clutch and says, dude, I was literally shaking last night, but how about DA? I actually ordered a Valley DA jersey last night. Hype. Rally the Valley. 100%, man. 100%. If you guys don't know, like I said, I do have a second channel that I ended up doing a vlog and trying to go like everywhere in Phoenix. Well, not everywhere, but I was trying to find that jersey. So if you're interested in watching a vlog about me in Phoenix, go to my second channel. It's going to be in the description below. But I appreciate you, Culture View. Thank you so very much for doing that. You didn't have to. Appreciate that. But let's take a look at the stats. The stats for yesterday's game was very one-sided. Now, what I mean by that is, let's take a look here. So here's the Clippers stats as a team. And then you have the Suns stats on the other side here. So if you take a look at the field goal percentage as opposed to us, the three-pointers opposed to us, free throws compared to us, then honestly, I honestly think that the Suns did everything they possibly can to get, better in every single percentage. So field goals, they had 32.5. Our field goal percentage was 36. Their three-pointers was 16.1, which is pretty bad. Our three-pointers, which 20%, which honestly is not that good, but as long as it's better than them, that's all I care about. Free throw percentage was 65.6 for them, and us was 87.7. Now, obviously, the free throw range is probably the one that we want to speak to the most because I did think that there was some times that the referees called offensive fouls. They called a lot of fouls for the Clippers in the grand scheme of things. And I think once I saw the stats in terms of how many fouls they had compared to what we had, I think we had, if I could do my math correctly here, about 10 to 11 free throws. I think it was 10 free throw attempts. So fouls called, and then they had 16. So they had about 6 more. And then I do feel like most of the time where they get themselves in the game, in terms of the Clippers, is because they have a lot of foul calls. And they get a lot of calls from the referees. Now, I'm not going to be one of them that's going to be sitting here and say, oh, they're only in the game because but the stats don't lie. The stats don't lie. I feel like they're a lot more on the foul line more than the Suns are anyways. And especially the last part of that fourth quarter, man, the last 30 seconds legit felt like forever. They fouled us. We go for the 2. They had it, and they took seconds off there. It just felt like forever. Once the timeouts went away, it was a lot better. It was more smooth going. But by the end of it, the Suns were leading by 4. They had their last possession, and it was just way too much for them to overcome. And the Phoenix Suns did what they did, and now we're in the situation here when we're going into Game 5. We're going into Game 5, and we're 3-1 on the series, and you couldn't put this better. You couldn't paint this a better picture than it is. You can't. Yes, we lost Game 3, but Game 4 we came back defensively, and we looked dominant. And then Game 5 is coming back, and we're coming back here. We're coming back home. So in my mind, I'm like, they want to win in front of the fans because I know they do care about the fans. Obviously, they're a very tight-knit group. They all seem to get along, and they have this, they have this culture, they have this vibe within them, which, nothing's distracting, and which absolutely is amazing when it comes down to the grand scheme of things. But 84-80, I want to do some single stats here as well before we jump into the Game 5 preview, and then we can read it to the comments and see what you guys have to say as well. So let's take it to the Phoenix Suns first. We had Mikal Bridges with 6 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jay Crowder with 3 points, 7 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton with 19 points, boys. 19 points for DeAndre Ayton. 22 rebounds and 3 assists. Man, if we didn't have that production from DA, I don't know where we would have been, but the 22 rebounds is absolutely insane. Devin Booker with 25 points, 2 rebounds. Chris Paul with 18 points, 4 rebounds and 7 assists. Cameron Payne with 5 points. Cameron Johnson with 5 points, and then Dario Saric with 6. Now, if we take a look at the Clippers side of it all, of course, Paul George is going to be the one that's going to have most of the points over there. 23 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. Marcus Morris, 4 points. Wow, that's not very good. Then you had Zubac with 13 points, 14 assists. Reggie Jackson with 20. He had a very, very good game. Any chance of them trying to, come up and get better and get the momentum going all came from Reggie Jackson. He had a very dominant game. Patrick Beverley, which is the guy who broke Devin Booker's nose with a headbutt, he only had 2 points. Terrence Mann had 12. Nicholas Batum, 3 points. So Luke Kennard with 2, and then DeMarcus Cousins with 1. So yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I just think that the Suns basically outplayed them. They outplayed the Clippers, and it looked very, very well. We did a very good job defensively. There was a moment in the third quarter when nobody could catch a point. Like, the Clippers had a moment where they could have brought this game up and took the lead over, but nobody could get any shots. Like, it was that bad, to the point where I even said to myself, in the frustration of watching what happened in about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, why is CP3 taking give it to somebody else, CP3? Why is this happening? But, you say some really silly things when you're in the heat of the moment, and there's a basketball game going on, and you can either be 2-2 by the end of this game, or you can be 3-1. And obviously, it worked out for the Phoenix Suns' advantage, because we are now 3-1 going into Game 5, and I just could not be any more excited about the opportunity to come back home and win one more game so we can get to the championship. My goodness, well, woo! I keep in mind, everybody, if this is the first time you're watching the AZ Sports Fan here, A, smash the like button, and B, subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan. But I've been an Arizona fan all my life. So as I've been getting older, or when I was growing up, we didn't have a team that was consistent. So it's very exciting to see a young Phoenix Suns team with a possibility of going to the championship and a possibility of constantly running it back. That, to me, is absolutely super exciting. Now, the reason why I say that is because one thing I wanted forever in a sports town or here in Phoenix is a consistent team. Now, we don't always have to be, World Series, NBA championship, or Super Bowl. It's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for a consistent team that's able to put the pieces together and be consistent, maybe dominant, maybe be considered to be a dominant team, and I can see that with our Phoenix Suns team. Now, granted, we don't really know the status on Chris Paul, if he is going to sign right back with the Phoenix Suns, hopefully, fingers crossed, because honestly, his veteran leadership, what he brought to the Phoenix Suns is leaps and bounds what we needed in this team. He has elevated the team of the play of Devin Booker. He's elevated the play of DeAndre Ayton when everybody was automatically going to write DA off already. They were saying, no, we don't want DA. Well, we should have got Luka Doncic. DA isn't physical enough, but we're seeing a different side to DA now, a side that everybody saw in college when he was playing in U of A, and we're seeing that finally translate into the NBA. We saw bits and flashes in the bubble from DA. Now, we also saw this here in towards the end of the regular season, but as the playoffs has gone along, the Phoenix Suns, man, they're looking like a team that can very well be a dominant team for years to come, and that's what makes me excited. Now, we're gonna have our hands full if we do go to the championship with either Giannis and the Bucks and the Milwaukee Bucks, or even Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, if you saw Game 2 of the Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks, the Bucks completely obliterated them. Like, it was an obliteration on what the Bucks did. Now, is that going to happen again? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see today to see who's going to be 2-1 going into Game 4. But nevertheless, the Phoenix Suns is exactly where we want them to be, and I hope we just get more exciting basketball for here on out. So if you are a younger fan, 11, 10, 15, even 18, 19, man, I envy it, man. I envy it because I've been through the 11 years of the Suns not doing anything. I've been through, the John Skeltons, the Max Halls, the Ryan Lindleys, the I guess you could put Josh Rosen in it now, but no, Josh Rosen was later on. But you know what I mean? The quarterbacks between Kurt Warner and Palmer, those quarterbacks, like, you've been through it, man. You've been through it. So it's really good to see a team that's hopefully going to hit their stride and get to where exactly we need to be. So appreciate everybody that's currently in the chat right now. Thank you so very much, everybody, for hanging out. Let's move on to Game 5, and that's what I want to talk about here. I want to go ahead and specifically talk about Game 5 because, man, this game can go any which way. Now, we've seen the Clippers be dominant. We've seen it in Game 3. Terrence Mann was a player that I'm like, we definitely need to look out for, but we haven't really seen the Terrence Mann in terms of me being worried about him, other than seeing him in Game 3. Now, we can very well see that because, hey, you put somebody against the back, the back's against the wall, you have one more game for elimination. We might see something here where I know there's a lot of fans that are very excited and saying, Suns in 5, Suns in 5, but I think more realistically, I think Suns in 6. It's different when you have somebody and you putting a team against the wall and you're like, hey, this is your last chance. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, although I'm optimistic and I would love for the Suns to beat them here, but don't be surprised if we do end up taking it in 6. But I'm excited. I'm really excited about this Game 5 and the possibility of us going to the championship. For the 2021 season. Now, also keep in mind, I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of trolls out there in terms of either coming onto this channel or getting onto other people's channel, but basically it is going along the lines of people saying the Suns can't beat a healthy team. Now, whether you believe that that's the case or not, that's up to you. But how it's gone so far, a lot of people were saying, well, we wouldn't have been able to beat, the Lakers if AD and LeBron was healthy. We wouldn't have been able to beat the Denver Nuggets if Justin Murray was there. And now we're here with the Clippers, and now they're saying we wouldn't be able to beat the Clippers with, Kawhi gone. Now, that's not our fault. The chips fell the way the chips fell. Now, there's a strong push of a lot of people saying that the Clippers ended up tanking, the last part of the season to avoid playing the Lakers. So, whether you believe that or not, I don't care. That's not our fault. Our fault, we didn't hurt these players. They came in hurt. Now, the chips fell the way the chips fell, and if that's how it is, then the Suns, bottom line, we're number 2 seed in the whole season. So what else more do we have to prove to a lot of these trolls? The Suns are a legit team. They are. You have some moments where you're scratching your head and being like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? But in the grand scheme of things, we can't be on, a 10-game, 11-game, streak. We lost our streak in Game 3, and I think it was probably for the best because it really got them to gather their mindset together and really got them to really think defensively and say, hey, this is not over yet. Yes, we're riding a very high streak, but I honestly think Game 3 was an important loss for them to learn what the future is to come and to come back stronger for the next game. And that's why. That's right there what I'm excited to see Game 3, man. Game 5 coming up. So if you guys do not know, Game 5 will be available to stream. So Game 5 is going to be on this Monday at 6 p.m. That's when Game 5 is going to be. It is going to be at home. So if you have tickets to it, awesome. Enjoy it. I was trying to look up to go get some tickets as well. But man, those things are super pricey. Like if you want to go to nosebleeds, you're spending about $400, $500 for nosebleeds. And I'm like, I don't got that kind of cash. So although I would love to go to a Suns game, we're going to continue to do the stream on Monday. That's how we're going to roll through. I apologize right now that I was not able to do the stream yesterday. I had some family come over. We ended up just watching it in my living room. It was pretty cool to finally get a different, change of pace. Actually just watching it with family members and just kind of overall hanging out. So that's why I didn't stream yesterday's game, but we will be doing Monday stream unless something dramatic happens. Then obviously I'll let you know in a community post. But yeah, Game 5 is going to be electric. Game 5 is going to be electric. Now, something that I love seeing from Game 4, and I hope it translates to Game 5, a lot of people were saying, Devin Booker with his mask on. He wasn't shooting anything. Game 3 was obvious that he wasn't comfortable with playing with his mask, whether, his eyes weren't right. CP3 coming back from, being off, not playing a basketball game for over a week. Something was off. It was very, very off, and that's probably the main reason why we ended up losing Game 3. But now that we finally got the gelling going, now that CP3 has gotten some minutes, and a good amount of minutes as well, to come in here and really play and shows what CP3 can do. Now, he's got nothing to prove to anybody. Let me just tell you this right now. CP3 has nothing to prove to anybody. But CP3 showed up yesterday. He really did. There were some moments where I'm like, oh man, you can't hit anything. But he did come up, man. Honestly, the grand scheme of things, CP3 had 18 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. Like, that 18 points was crucial. We ended up beating the Clippers by 4 points. So every point was crucial. Devin Booker obviously went off again with a 25-pointer and 2 assists. But that's what it is, man. That's what it is. I'm very excited here for the opportunity here for the Phoenix Suns to take it. And so now we can say, you know, Suns in 5. If you're going to ask me, I want to say Suns in 5 too. I feel like it's different. I feel like it's different when you put a team, you know, have their back against the wall. I feel like they're going to come out swinging. But hopefully it all works out for the Phoenix Suns and we can just rest up and wait to see who comes out of the East and basically go from there. I'm going to put my, you know, my winning hat on. I'm going to go ahead and put my, hopefully we win this game coming through on game 5, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But the excitement level in Phoenix is so freaking real right now. I ended up going down to downtown Phoenix because I was looking for a Valley jersey. I was looking for any jersey. Well, no, I was looking. That's what I was looking for, a Valley jersey. And I ended up talking to the people at the team shop, and they're like, "Nah, bro. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing out here right now. It's you're better off going online, and we'll see what happens there. But it's crazy, man. And when I went there, there's an apartment complex right, or condo, whatever, right across the street from where the Suns play. And I kid you not, you can see balconies up there, and probably at least 20 to 25 balconies had a Suns flag on there saying "Go Suns." And that's just, man, like, that's the kind of stuff that you want to see in a city. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see in the city of Phoenix, because you want them to be excited. You want people to rally the Valley, you know, no pun intended. Hey, we're using that hashtag right there. But that's the kind of stuff you want to, because I still remember the Super Bowl when we ended up going to the Super Bowl back in the 2008 to 2009 season, where it was 2008, but it was played in 2009. So I still remember it. Like, I still remember that Super Bowl. I remember going to the grocery store with my brother, because we're getting everything prepared for like, you know, our barbecue and stuff like that. And going to a grocery store like Fry's, which is like, you know, our grocery store here in the Phoenix area, man, the excitement level, the buzz level was there, man. That's the kind of stuff I want to get back to. And this is what's bringing me here right now. And the Phoenix Suns is bringing me that enjoyment. They're bringing me that type of, like, yes, let's go. We can finally have a championship here team, man. And Devin Booker's the guy. He's the superstar that we all knew about, that no national people wanted to give him attention until right now, because they see what he brings to the table. I think I read something along the lines when he had his mask off. He actually ended up taking his mask off. I believe it was in the third quarter of this last game. He gave it to the trainer. He gave it to the trainer, and he told him, I read somewhere that he told the trainer, if it breaks, I'll get surgery in the offseason. Like, that, it right there is putting, like, the leadership that comes out, and he's still very, very young. The leadership, the mentality, the championship level play he wants to get to, he obviously felt the mask was bringing him down. So he took it off, gave it to the trainer, and he said, if I need to get surgery, I'll get it in the offseason. Like, they're 100% committed. 100% committed. And we still have all these young bucks coming in here. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne, still young players. Now, granted, Cameron Payne's mid-20s compared to the early 20s, but still, I think in the grand scheme of things, we have something here. We got something here. DeAndre Ayton, yeah, how did I forget? DeAndre Ayton's still young. A lot of people still, somehow forget that he's still, early 20s. All because he's really, really huge. He's really huge, and he looks like he looks like a full-grown man. Like, this guy's been on the planet for at least 28, 30 years. But no. DeAndre Ayton has come to his own. He's come to his own, and just big shout out to CP3 and whatever's happening in that organization. Even Monty Williams, man. The moment Monty Williams was put into this team, into this team as being the head coach, it just completely changed. Completely 180 has changed from the type of team that we were, that we used to talk about. What type of, who are we going to get in the first rounds? Are we going to get a top 4 pick? Hopefully we get the first overall. Are we going to be in the top 10? We don't have to worry about that stuff anymore, because we got a championship team. That's the type of team that we have here. So very, very excited, man. I'm honestly super, super excited in what this Phoenix Suns can bring over to the city of Phoenix. The city of Phoenix in general. So let's go ahead and take it to the comments. Let's read it to the comments here and let's see what everybody has to say. We are going to get to that portion now where the comments are going to be crucial. Now, keep in mind, guys, right now there's 51 people in here right now. Now, we might get more as the morning goes along. We're set out to have maybe about a 45-minute to an hour show. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to read the comments, but there's 50 of you right now compared to one of me. It's very, very hard to read every comment, so I apologize of not reading your comment. You have the option to super chat where your comment gets pinned and you will get an absolute read. Promise. Read it to the comments here. And now let's see what you guys have to say in the excitement level that is Phoenix right now and the Phoenix Suns and possibly going into the championship right now. Let's go. CB, what's up, dude? What's going on? My guy says, I don't know if Campaign re-signs within this offseason. I get he likes it here and wants to stay, but the max offer to DA and Mikal Bridges plus reworking CP3's contract all adds up to impossible. Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct. I think Cameron Payne is going to be a very, very intriguing player this offseason. Now, we've seen it before. We've seen it before where people take, smaller contracts to stay with the team because they care more for championships. Now, the unfortunate part about Cameron Payne is that his career has not took off as much as it's taking off now with the Phoenix Suns. Now, you can either attribute that to the Phoenix Suns. You can either attribute that to him being just his developing skills just went up that much higher. He's just that better of a player being to where he's at right now in his career. So this could work out a couple different ways here. Either, yeah, he would accept a smaller deal because in the grand scheme of things, if he's looking out more for championships, if he's looking out for more hey, I want to be with a team that actually uses me correctly, then he can stay with the Suns. Obviously, it wouldn't be able to be a max deal because you said it right. You said it perfectly. CP3, Mikal Bridges, DA, all those different players that we need to account for. Or we just elevated Cameron Payne's career and life and family being in this Phoenix Suns organization to a place that he's going to get a paycheck, whatever team he ends up going to next season. Which any option obviously works for me. Because him as a player, him as a person, kudos to him, man. Honestly, I know he was a first round pick in his draft class that he ended up coming through, and it just never worked out. It never really worked out. And now since he came here, he revived his career, and if he can get an opportunity to get paid and get paid handsomely for him, his family, and whoever he chooses to spend his money on, good for him. Good for him because he deserves it. He deserves it. Now, Cameron Payne has definitely given us a heck of a backup point guard to CP3. He definitely has. He's done a very good job, especially in Game 2 where he had a career day for us. But I think in the grand scheme of things it just really depends on what he wants to do. I would love to take him back, obviously, but under the circumstances in terms of cap, there's sometimes things that we can't do, and he might be a player that might not sign this next offseason because of the cap situation with Mikal and CP3 and also DA. So we'll see, though. I'm definitely going to be following that very, very closely because I'm actually very, very intrigued to see what's going to happen here with Cameron Payne. All right, let's keep on reading through the comments here. Let's keep on seeing what you guys have to say. Jack says, should we re-sign Langston Galloway? Honestly, that's a very good question. I like Langston Galloway. I really did. I thought he was going to have a more bigger role coming in the season. In the season, not the playoffs. Because obviously, the trend has been happening where he doesn't have very much playing time at all. And then we're seeing what we're seeing. As long as Langston Galloway is cool in the position he's in, and if he wants to stay here and continue to get rings, I say yeah. If he's looking to be more of, I want to not spend very much time on the bench, then I respect that. I definitely respect that in terms of having Langston Galloway stay. or not. But personally, coming into the season, I thought he was going to have a bigger role than he did. And when he came off the bench, you mainly see him when we have blowouts. Like if we're blowing a team out or they're blowing us out and we pretty much just kind of forfeited kind of thing, we start seeing Langston Galloway come in a lot more. But yes, but like I said, I mean, it's a two-way street. Players have a choice too if they choose to sign back us with us again or whatever the situation is. But I do like Langston Galloway. I think he's got a really good 3-point shot. I think he does very, very good when we have seen it. But just depends. Just depends on really what he wants to do. Lando, what's up, my guy? Says I don't really watch basketball, but this might make me a fan moving forward. Cool. Well, awesome, man. Well, welcome in. And I don't blame you. Like I honestly don't blame you. Like if you're like, let's say for example you're like 13, 14, 15. If that's your age, the Suns have been with the exception of last year, but the Suns have been an unwatchable organization for at least 10 years. 7 years. So for the lifespan of most young kids coming into sports, into the Arizona sports, it would really be hard to be like, yeah, I'm a Suns fan, unless your parents are constantly diehard Suns fans and that's all they talk, breathe, and they watch every single game. Then it's different because it's out of sight, out of mind. But for the grand scheme of things, the Suns have been very mediocre or terrible at least. So I don't blame you for not watching basketball until right now, because we really have a good chance of becoming champions. And of course, when good things happen in a sports organization, people want to be a part of it. People want to be a part of it. Either going to the games, either be now starting to talk about it. And it's cool. It's cool. Absolutely awesome. Welcome. If you're in Phoenix, you have all the right in the world to go for any team that's here. Let's keep on reading here and let's keep on seeing what you have to say. Tiki saw I'm only 14. So yeah, that's a perfect example right there, Tiki God. Like, yeah, 14. And the Suns were, what, 11 years, no playoffs? Now, granted, the bubble was pretty exciting. Like, if you weren't into it, then, it's no big deal. But 6 to 7, 8 years, which is pretty much half a 14-year-old's life, we saw unwatchable basketball. And all we had to talk about as far as being a Suns fan was, what draft pick are we going to get? Do we have a chance of being, getting Zion Williamson? Can we get John Morant? Or where are we looking in the draft? Like, that's what we had to talk about as Suns fans. And now the shift has been made over, and now we're in this situation here. Eason, what's up? My guy says, are you a Diamondbacks fan? I'll let you. I'll just flip this over here and I'll let you answer that yourself. Yes, this up here, this picture up there is an actual Diamondbacks poster. You don't really see it very much because it's most of the time cropped off. But this up here is Diamondbacks, and behind my logo here, I have like a Coyotes like plaque back here. So yes, I'm a fan of everything AZ. I've been born and raised here. So everything in my mind has always been Arizona. I'm not the people that ever say LeBron is my favorite player. I go to wherever he goes. That's not me. That's not me. If you're not a Phoenix Suns, an Arizona Cardinals player, if you're not a Diamondbacks player, I don't. Hey, your career is your career. It's nothing to do with mine. Pretty much like Paul Goldschmidt when he ended up getting signed. Zach Greinke when he ended up getting traded away. I think that they did a very fantastic thing for Phoenix or for the Diamondbacks. Awesome thing, especially Goldschmidt. He was the face of the organization for a very, very long time. But since he's been moved to the Cardinals and since Greinke has been moved to the Houston, it's not in my mind anymore. Like their careers are their careers. I'm a fan of the team, number one, up and foremost. I'm a fan of the team more than anything. I want the Suns to succeed. I want the Diamondbacks to succeed. I want the Coyotes to succeed. And I also want the Cardinals to succeed. That's always been my mindset. Never was one to say LeBron James is my favorite player and I live in Utah. And I'm going to follow him wherever he goes. And whoever he goes to, that's going to be my team. Because in the grand scheme of things, you switch like to 3 or 4 teams, or 3 teams if you're a LeBron fan. And that's just not me. That's not me. Great question, though. Great question. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Not Mario, what's up, dude? Says, Mike, what's your second favorite football, basketball, baseball? So, not Mario, let me answer that question for you right now. So, my second favorite, my number one favorite sport ever is football. As you can tell, this is a lot more Cardinal memorabilia, everything more than anything here. Football is my number one sport. Second would probably have to be, at one point, baseball. Now it's been making a shift into basketball, but what I honestly do think is that the second favorite sport of mine is all the other sports, and I'm going to pay attention to the one that's doing the best. Now, I'll watch Coyotes games when they're not doing good. I'll watch Diamondbacks games when they're having this terrible, 22 season so far. Like, I'll watch the games, but I'll put my time and effort into the person who's doing the best. And that's what we're doing here. That's why we're shifting over from the Cardinals talk that we've had so much on this channel, and we're now talking about the Suns. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Great questions, though. Very, very good questions. I'm excited for whoever's going to be at the Suns game tomorrow. The crowd's going to be nuts. 110%. Yeah, if anybody's going to the game, let me know. Put it in the comments below. If you guys are going to the game, that's awesome. Or if you know somebody that's going to the game too, that's absolutely amazing. I try to go to the game myself, personally. And I looked at the tickets and I was like, bruh. If I do go, I don't want to be nosebleeds. Like, I do not want to be nosebleeds. I want to be down there. No, it doesn't got to be courtside. It can be row 20. It can be row 25. I don't care. But I want to be down here. I don't want to be nosebleeds. And even the nosebleeds are like $500, $400 after fees. So whoever's going, awesome. Good for you. Good for you. I couldn't justify being in nosebleeds and spending $500 personally. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Jay Salcido, I'm going to the game. Nice, brother. Well, have a fun time. That's awesome. Tino, what's going on? It says, yo, there are watch parties in downtown. Yeah, there is actually. I didn't even know that they were doing it. So apparently in the Suns arena, they actually are doing it in there. I'm not sure if it's charged. I'm not sure anything like that in terms of prices and stuff like that. So I didn't hear about it until I knew that it was happening yesterday, and I was like, oh, cool, they're doing watch parties where they're just watching it on the Jumbotron, when all the fans are there. It's actually pretty cool. Let's keep on reading through the comments here. Not Mara says, if an AZ sports team didn't exist, what teams would you go for? That's tough. That's a tough question, man, because honestly, I don't know. I mean, that's tough. I don't know if I can even answer that one. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I can answer that one, to be honest with you, because I think in the grand scheme of things I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't live in that alternate world where we don't have a team and put myself in that situation. I've always been a person that has like an underdog team. Like, that was always my mentality. So maybe somebody around here with an underdog team, probably. But I don't know. I can't answer that one. I really can't. Keep on reading to the comments here. Lobster to the Larry says $10 to get in. I didn't know that. Open seating. That is super cool, man. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I wasn't aware that they were doing that, but I honestly think that's fantastic. That's super fantastic. Our cards, but yeah, here you go. It's original thing. I probably wouldn't care for sports as much had Arizona. Yeah, that's probably exactly. It's hard to say, because I can't put myself in that alternate world where we don't have any sports teams. Yeah, it's tough. Tough. Lennon says, do you like any other teams like the Rising Mercury or the Rattlers? Yeah, I like them all. I've been to a couple of Rattlers games. They're actually pretty fun. They're entertaining to go to. Mercury is pretty cool to go to as well. But you can only really talk about so much on this channel without this channel consuming your life. And like I've said multiple different times, I do got a job too. I got a job. I got a full-time job. I got a family and all that different stuff. So I got to be able. This is kind of my hobby more than anything. This is my hobby. So yeah, I do, but I don't see any content coming out for any of that stuff. It's just going to overwhelm. It's going to overconsume what really pays the bills. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. Mystic Playa, what's up, dude? Says the Clippers already booked this Cancun trip for next week. They probably did, man. That's what I was telling a lot of people. Like, I think one of the funniest things that happened yesterday's game was this. Like, this has to be one of the funniest things out there. Kawhi Leonard, just the excitement level of him getting absolutely excited. Like, this had to be like one of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time. One thing I'll give the announcers, which they were annoying me a lot, like especially towards the end of the game because they were obviously favoring the Clippers. But man, when the Clippers were going on a run, when the Clippers were basically like, hey, we're going to take over this game, and the momentum was shifting for the Clippers, the announcers were like, oh, look at Kawhi Leonard. He's excited. He's jumping in joy. And this right here was legit. The face that he had was just stone cold, and he just was sitting there. It was hilarious. Like, my goodness. Like, honestly, I was like, this is going to be a meme. Like, this has to be. Like, watching the game, like, this has to be, like, some sort of meme. It was just funny. Good timing, perfect. Obviously, we're laughing more about it now because the Suns got the win, and now we're 3-1. So, amazing job there. Amazing job there. I'm only hoping the Phoenix Suns can really, like, we lost game 3 because we want to bring it home and win the West here. Yeah, but yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thanks everybody for joining here. Smash that like button if you guys have not yet already. Smash that like button and subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. If you're wondering what's going on, who's this guy with the backwards hat? My name is Mike. I run this YouTube channel named the AZ Sports Fan. We talk everything Arizona Cardinals. And now we shifted over to Suns/Cardinals, but obviously when the Suns, the Cardinals come through, it's going to be back into the swing of things, and then we're going to talk about Cardinals pretty much 100% from there. So definitely subscribe. We're on the road to 7K. Can't do it without you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that stuff you need to do. Appreciate everybody for hanging out and just chilling on this Sunday morning here, where we're just talking some Suns here, because I'm very, very excited. Very excited that we can possibly have a championship team moving forward. So here's my question to you guys. Now, if you look at the East, if we're looking at the East right now, we're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks or the Atlanta Hawks. Who do you think is coming out of the East? Do you think it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks? Or do you think it's going to be the Atlanta Hawks? Now, I think it's going to be the easiest, the most safest choice to go with the Bucks, right? It's the safest choice. You got Giannis. You got more of an establishment team, more veterans on that side, where you look at the Atlanta Hawks and you're like, oh, man, there are a lot of young people over there. But Trae Young is fantastic. Not selling him short. He's fantastic. But my question to you is, who do you think is going to come out of the East? Milwaukee Bucks or the Atlanta Hawks? Now, the Atlanta Hawks, on the very first game, they held their own. They did very, very good. Very good. They're looking dominant. Second game came around, the Bucks mopped the floor. They got destroyed. But that can very well fuel the fire for a young team, which is a young, scrappy team, to come through. Very young, scrappy team in the Atlanta Hawks. So who do you guys think is coming out of the East? Right now it's split. There's 1-1. They're both tied on the series with 1 win apiece. Who do you think is coming out of the East? Because believe it or not, if the Suns do finish this off on Monday, we have another rest, a good rest going into the championship. So let me know in the comments below how you guys feel. Who do you think is coming out of the East? Who do you want to come out of the East? Who do you want to come out of the East? Because the Suns are one game away to punching their ticket to the NBA championship. And I've said this before. If we win a championship, I have another of this glass case here. These glass cases that I have another one that's sitting over there. I'm going to get a replica of this championship, and I'm going to show it proud. In this case, or I might put another over there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. But there is going to be a championship trophy, NBA, in that showcase, and it's going to forever be in there. Because the excitement level, and I'm still going back and forth if I should really be getting the World Series championship, because there's a replica out there that I have my eye on as well. But it's been such a long time. What I want to do is I want to do championships as long as this channel has been alive and as long as this channel is going and kicking. Obviously in 2001, I was like 10. I was like 10. So it doesn't, yes, I remember it happening, but it wasn't really quite there. So I might not go the Diamondback route and get a championship for that, but I definitely, since this channel's been alive, up and kicking, definitely thinking about putting a replica championship trophy right there and show it proud, because my goodness, these don't come very often, especially for Phoenix Arizonians. Let's keep on reading to the comments here. The Packers fan, what's up, dude? Says, I want the Hawks to come out of the East. That's fair. That's fair. I know a lot of people are thinking that the Hawks can very well be the easier team coming out of the East. But man, when we play the Hawks, the couple times that we did play them, now granted, I don't know if the Suns weren't putting their 100%. I don't quite 100% know, but the Hawks actually beat us. They beat us on the regular season a lot, or at least twice. My personal opinion, I do think that the Bucks are gonna find a way to come out of the East. I do think it's going to be tough. I think this is going to go to 6, maybe even 7. But I do think that the Bucks are going to pull it off, and we're going to see a Phoenix Suns versus the Milwaukee Bucks championship. We're going to see Giannis, Devin Booker, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So very, very excited about it, man. Very excited about it. Keep on reading to the comments here. Appreciate everybody for being here. I understand it's a Sunday morning. Most people are just hanging out, chilling with their family. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate that. Our card says, we lost to the Nuggets, Clippers. What? Yeah, that's true. That's true. The only thing that, and it's not so much a worry for me with the Hawks. I mean, whoever comes out. That's the way I look at it. And that's exactly my mindset when we had, everybody was like, we don't want to play the Lakers. We don't want to get knocked down. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. That's just plain and simple. That's my mentality. That's going to be it from here on out. That I'm going to use that with the Cardinals. I'm going to use that with the Suns, the same thing. In order for you to be the best, you need to beat the best. And I gladly took the opportunity for the Lakers to come through, and glad that we took them out in 6 games. Gladly. So in the grand scheme of things here, I think the Atlanta Hawks are a scrappy young team that they're kind of an unknown in my mind. So I would rather take the Bucks because I know who they are. I know who their champions, their superstars and their type of play is. We don't really know, man. Trae Young can very well have a monster night like he's used it before, and I don't know. I want the Bucks. Is what I want. I don't care who it is. The Hawks can come in as well. I'm down with either or. Let's keep on reading the comments here. Ghost, what's up, man? Says, I lived in Phoenix when the D-backs won. So cool. Yeah, I was here too. I was just young. I was like 10 or something like that. So what is that, like 5th grade? 4th grade? Like, you know people were excited, but it really doesn't hit. My dad growing up, he watched sports, but he wasn't as fanatic as I am. So when my kid comes into this world, they're going to know that Super Bowl is a holiday. The NBA championship is a holiday. If the Diamondbacks are in the World Series, it's a holiday. So that's the mindset here. You don't just have Christmas. You don't just have Thanksgiving. You have Super Bowl. You got all sorts of other stuff you need to put on your calendar, because if you ain't here, I don't know. Nothing's going to happen to you, but a very sad dad. But yeah, that's just the truth of the nature, yo. That's the truth of the nature. The Phoenix Suns, man. Phoenix Suns have an opportunity here to go in the championship. They just need to focus in, get in there, and then see what happens. See what happens, because I'm absolutely super excited about the opportunity to either take on the Bucks or the Atlanta Hawks. I think we are going to do very well. I think we're going to do very, very well in the championship. Let's keep on reading into the comments here. Appreciate everybody for being here. We will be cutting off this live stream in about 9 minutes. We're going to be going in about an hour long. So just keep that in mind as well, guys. An hour long, and then from there we will be shutting it down, and then we will be going live for the Monday game, doing play-by-play and all that different stuff. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Now, one thing I also want to mention, one thing before we keep reading to the comments here, because you guys are coming out with fire. I appreciate everybody for being here. Let me just say that first things first. Now, I do have another channel. I just created another channel probably about a month ago. I don't really talk about it very much. I try to put a post every once in a while, but it's kind of separate than what I'm doing in this channel here specifically. But if you're interested in seeing more of who I am outside of sports, I have a new channel called the AZ Sports Cards, where I'll be doing vlogs. I'll also be doing sports cards, breaks, looking at PSA stuff, buying some stuff, showing you my collection and stuff like that. Maybe more, it's going to be more of a personal type of channel. So if you're looking for more content from the AZ Sports fan, go on over to and look up the it's just AZ Sports Cards. There is a link on the description of this video. So if you're interested, I appreciate a subscribe over there. I just released a vlog yesterday that a lot of people seem to like. It's been the most views I've had on that channel. And it's only 450 views. So I appreciate everybody for hanging out, showing some support. That absolutely does mean the world. So just FYI, there is a second channel that I have launched about a month ago. I think we're at 216 subscribers. That's how new it is. If you're interested, it is in the description below. There will be vlogs, there will be card videos, all sorts of stuff. So that's going to be something along the lines of me. You're seeing more of my personal side as opposed to me, reacting to sports, calling play-by-play, flipping tables because I'm pissed over the Cardinals not going to the playoffs, that type of stuff. So if you're interested, check it out. If not, no worries. All right, let's keep on reading here. See what you have to say. Robinson, what's up, my guy? Saying Clippers are as far as Beverly can take them. We need it. Oh, here we go. Oh, we got a Clippers fan coming in here. What's up, Robinson? Thank you. Clippers are only as far as Beverly will take them. Yeah, and Beverly, I think defensively he's very good. I do. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that don't like Beverly because we allude him to breaking Booker's nose. Now, it could have been a freak accident. It could very well have been that. It is what it is. So, Patrick Beverly had 2 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. So, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, he didn't really have a very good game, but he had some defensive stops. He had some defensive stops, and it looked very, very good moving forward. But You're right. That's a very good statement there, my guy. Very, very good statement there. Paul George, man. I feel like every time we play Paul George, he's always, scoring. Scoring a lot. 23 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. But I agree. I definitely agree. Appreciate you for being here, my guy. Thank you. All right, let's keep on reading onto the comments here. Our cards, what's up, dude? Paul needs to play better for sure. He couldn't make that mid. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, there was a moment in the third quarter when the Clippers couldn't make a darn basket. We couldn't make a darn basket, and they had plenty of opportunities to take over this game, and nobody couldn't make a basket. And you're 100% right. Paul did at least 2 to 3 back-to-back mid-jumper and just didn't work. And it even got to myself where I was talking where I love CP3, but obviously in the heat of the moment when you're watching such an intense game, you're saying, CP3, stop throwing, stop going for the basket, give it to somebody else. Obviously, he got better in the fourth quarter, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah, there was a moment in the third where the Clippers couldn't buy themselves a basket. The Suns couldn't buy themselves a basket. We were stuck at like 70 to something. I was like 69, 70 to 71 for a hot second. It was very annoying to see because either or could have taken advantage of moving on over and taking the lead and probably taking over this game, and it just never happened. Never happened. Super crazy though, super crazy. Appreciate you, Robinson. Thank you. Now, I have a question for you, Robinson, if you don't mind, because I know you're a Clippers fan. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that Suns, like the refs were calling a lot of fouls for the Suns? Or do you think that, like, are you one of the fans that feel like the Suns are being favored by the refs? Because I know that there's a lot of Suns fans that feel that way for the Clippers. That Game 3 was obviously lost because the refs were in the back pockets of the Clippers. Do you feel that way on the opposite side, or do you really do think that the Suns won because the Suns were a better team that night? Now, you don't have to admit that they're a better team. Not saying that, but that night, obviously having more points, makes them the better team because they got the win. But what do you think? Let's keep on reading to the comments here. We will be shutting down this stream in about like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just going to wait for my guy Robinson here to see if he can answer me, and then we'll kind of go from there. But let me keep reading comments. Hopefully he does. If he doesn't, no worries. Don't feel pressure, my guy. CL Oracle, what's up, dude? Booker's going to go off next game, I feel. I hope so, man. I hope so. I sure as heck hope so. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting to see the Phoenix Suns in Game 5 versus the Clippers. Very, very interesting. Because we have a chance here. We have a chance to do something that we haven't seen in a very long time. So I'm very excited. Robinson, there you go. What's up, my guy? So, no, not at all. There were some calls that didn't go all the way. The Suns honestly play better defensively as a unit. Okay, cool. Perfect. And I'm glad to hear. And I know, in the grand scheme of things, like, there's going to be a lot of people saying, a lot of times blaming on the refs, but I'm glad that, you can kind of see it. But you're right, man. Before we got started on this, this is the stats. This is the stats for, like, and thanks for being here, by the way. These are the stats for yesterday's game as a team, as a unit. The Clippers stats, the field goal percentage was 32.5. 3-pointers, 16.1. Their free throws, 65.6. And you look at on our end, on the Sun stats, we clearly are, took advantage better. Now, I think the free throw percentage was probably the one that took us over because in the grand scheme of things, the Suns, they outplayed the Clippers. The free throws, the Clippers had an opportunity to get 32 points. And they got 21 out of the 32. For the Phoenix Suns, 21 points we had an option to go, and we got 18. The difference between them, man, I'll take it in a heartbeat. The three-point shot was not there for anybody. The three-point shot was brutal. As you can see here, the Clippers, 16.1%. They scored 5 out of 31 three-pointers. 5 out of 31. And then the Suns are no better. Yeah, we're 20%, but we're 4 out of 20. 4 out of 20. Field goals. 32% to our 36. And it all just came down to it. I mean, I like stats as much as the next guy, but you definitely can't deny the fact that the Suns, even by these percentages here, that this is the main reason why they won. So yeah, I agree. The Suns definitely outplayed them, but man, this game could have gone either which way if the three-point was better for each team. The free throws were better for each team. The field goals were better for each team because, yeah, there was a moment here, man. It's just, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. We will be ending the stream here. Thank you so very much. Robinson, I want to give you a big shout out here, man. I don't really have a lot of, other side of the fans that can really have a conversation with, and I really do appreciate the discourse back and forth. Thank you so very much for hanging out. All the Suns fans are hanging out here on this beautiful Sunday morning when we're here very excited about the Phoenix Suns run. Very excited about the Phoenix Suns run going into the next game this coming Monday. So we couldn't make this up, man. I'm very, very excited for the opportunity here for the Phoenix Suns to go into the championship because, man, we need it, man. We need it a lot. Appreciate everybody for being here. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. We will be doing the play-by-play Monday tomorrow for Game 5. We will be doing play-by-play, reaction, all that different stuff, guys. So hopefully you can join. If not, no worries. No worries. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And we are out. And go Suns.